Brianna, will you conduct roll, please?
Yeah. Chair Beamer,
Here.
Member Dimmitt, Member Fleming, Member Stewart,
Here.
Member Thompson. A quorum is present.
Thank you, Brianna. And was the meeting properly posted and noticed? Thank you. We'd ask Member Stewart if you will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, before we get into public comment, we have a new board member to the County Advisory Board to manage wildlife for Carson City. And I would just give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself and what, if you have any goals or objectives or anything like that that you want us to be aware of.
My name is Doris Dimmitt. I've lived here in Carson City for about 25 years. I worked at Carson Tahoe Regional Medical Center for about 23 years. I'm a retired healthcare epidemiologist. I worked in the microbiology lab for about 20 years, and then I worked as the infection preventionist for many years. I left there in 2017 and to pursue my passion as an environmental conservationist. My husband and I have traveled all over the world, really working in projects with endangered species of turtle and tortoises. And I just saw this in the paper, and I thought this would be really interesting to get involved in with the community. And so I applied, and here I am.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you and have your perspective, and makes for a good process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully you learn stuff, we'll learn stuff, and welcome, Doris. We appreciate you being with us. With that, we'll go right into our public comment. The public is invited at this time to provide comment on any topic that relates to the matters over which this public body, the Carson City County Advisory Board to manage wildlife, has supervision, control, or jurisdiction, or advisory power, including any such matter that is not specifically included on the agenda as an action item, but understand that no action may be taken on a matter raised during this period for public comment. At this time, do we have any public comment? Seeing none here in Carson City and nothing on the phone, right? We will go ahead and close public comment. We'll move on to agenda item number 5 for possible action, approval of the minutes for the August 8, 2025 meeting. Doris, don't think that you are more than welcome to vote on this. There's nothing that precludes you from not voting on this if you read it. And so I will leave that up to you. If you do want to recuse yourself because you weren't at that meeting or you haven't listened to that meeting, then we would just ask Brianna to defer them till the next meeting till we can get a quorum, because we won't have a quorum if she.
I did read them.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, anything in there jump out at
No.
you? Member Stewart, anything that you want to, any corrections, anything that's?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay, perfect. I also read them, and with that, I would call for a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion on the table. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Doris. So there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously and is passed unanimously. All right. Carrying on to agenda item number 6. This is a discussion only item, and where we get usually an update from attendees of the August 15th, wait, is that correct? Yes, August 15th and August 16th Nevada board meeting in Ely. I was able to attend that in person, except I had to come home for the 16th. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to attend that, but I did attend on the 15th, and it was a really productive meeting, I thought. there were some great reports. They had a great field trip out to some areas that where they did some habitat restoration, mainly in units 111 through 115, but they talked about and expanded on some habitat restoration in units 221 through 223, which are kind of out in that area, Doris, if you're not familiar with that area. And just what type of wildlife utilize it, looking at the different habitat that they're trying to restore out there, mainly bitterbrush and subspecies of bitterbrush, which is kind of cool. And like I said, it was a really good meeting. I don't have a lot to report. I did talk to the commission again about excuse me, about our urban wildlife subcommittee here in Carson City. Gave a report on that. Told them that we are going to report an annual or make an annual report to the Board of Supervisors, and then also again try and get the department to cooperate with us in developing a dedicated, or supporting, I should say, a dedicated week or month here in Carson City that we devote to urban wildlife awareness and education. We've been trying to do that for some time now, and Mayor Bagwell, as well as the Board of Supervisors, are in favor of it. We just want to make sure we have enough content, if you will, and things that we could maybe team up with the Department of Wildlife on to provide education and awareness as it relates to urban wildlife of all kinds, deer, coyotes, and
Bears.
all kinds of stuff, right? So that we deal with here in Carson City in our area. So they were very open to that. In fact, I had the habitat specialist or one of the habitat biologists, actually the administrator for the habitat division, reach out to me in regards to a report that I also gave on the Lake Glen habitat area, their lake that they have there in that division. I did get contacted by somebody who is a member of that HOA over there, asking if the department has any kind of programs that help out with habitat restoration or revitalization, anything like that. So I did pass that information on to the commission, and somebody from the habitat division was going to reach out to them and give them a call and see if there's anything the department could do to maybe help that. So that was positive. Other than that, I don't have a lot to report on that. Did you by chance go look at or view the second day or no?
I got a little bit of it, but not much.
Okay.
It ended up
Okay.
one of those days.
The one thing I was really concerned about was the trespass issue. They're going to hear it again in this meeting coming up. I'm not sure what came of that. I tried to reach out to the person that actually gave that report, and I didn't get a response from them today. So hopefully we hear more about that, and as kind of we go forward. So that's about all I have to report on the meeting. I apologize I wasn't able to attend on the 16th, but I didn't have a place to stay, unfortunately. On the 16th. And so, and then we had something come up with our animals here back at our house that I had to tend to. So I had to drive home that evening and didn't get home till super late, but I was able to tend to that. So, all right. With that, we'll go on to agenda item number 7, which is a discussion only item, is providing an update and activity report on the Carson City Urban Wildlife Committee. I kind of already talked about that. I don't have much more to report other than we did do a wildlife and bird where we went out and we took a group of youth out to up Kings Canyon, and we got to show them some cool wildlife. We actually saw some sooty and or blue grouse up there, which was kind of fun by the falls, which I've never seen them that low before, but they looked real healthy. And then they got to see some water snakes and then a ton of birds. And so that was kind of fun to kind of, we had some people that actually were on the trailhead that joined the youth in that group, and they enjoyed it as well. So it was kind of neat. And then we also did a bat. We did a bat presentation where we took people out to Lloyd's Bridge, and we got to see bats at night and some of the different bats and identify some of the different bats and stuff. So that was kind of cool too. Someone told me that out at that was on that told me that out at Silver Saddle Ranch there's a big bat population out there, and if you go out there in the evening you can see them as well, which is kind of cool. So all right, so that's all I have to report on the Urban Wildlife Committee. Agenda item number 8 is our informational items. And for Doris's benefit, I just wanted to kind of go through how we handle these. So these are mainly a lot of the activity reports, litigation report. If there's a report from a subcommittee that the department might hear from, they would have them during this time. These are typically reports that we typically see on day 1 of the commission meeting. And then there is, if they have any kind of budget stuff, they will usually hear it during this time as well. So they're kind of annual reports or regular reports that we see. We have the ability to take any of these out and discuss them. I had a chance to go through each one of the reports that they offered any supplemental material on. Hopefully you guys all got to check them out as well. I didn't see anything that I felt like was out of the ordinary, except for the elk species management plan, which I would like to discuss just a little bit if we could. All the rest, I am in support of everything that's being said there, but I would open it up to my fellow board members and see if there's anything either of you would like to discuss at this time.
I just have a question. Does this committee actually have a budget?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do, and it's based on so it's kind of it's interesting how they manage the budget for the county advisory boards. It's based on what we currently have with the city. So the state actually gives money to the city to be able to pay for our travel and those things, right? And so last year we did not have a lot of people claim any expenses that traveled. And so this year we didn't receive any more money. They just kept the money that they had given us. So I think it's right around $2,900. But we encourage all of the board members, if you go to a commission meeting, by all means, that's 100%. You can be paid back for that. And they pay back at the GSA rates for per diem and for mileage and that sort of thing. So please, that's how we know how much it costs to have this committee. So I encourage everybody to supplement. Not supplement, but put forward their travel claims and get reimbursed for that out of these funds. So, any other questions? Anything else that anybody wants to discuss at all out of the agenda item number 8?
It was the elk species management one that you wanted to pull, right?
Yeah, that's the
I'm
one
good.
I wanted to talk about.
I'm good with everything else in there, so.
Yeah, everything seemed pretty kind of normal. It'll be interesting to see. There wasn't a lot of supplemental material on the tag allocation and application hunt committee, which I'm certain there's going to be some stuff in there with regard to the darn it. I'm certain they're going to talk a little bit about the new permit that we're considering for houndsmen. So people that actually use hounds here in the state of Nevada for bear hunting and for
Outline.
mountain lion hunting. It is permitted in the state of Nevada, and there's been a proposal to create a permit that would help control the amount of out-of-state houndsmen that come in and just run just to train their dogs, that sort of thing, and make sure that there's a little bit more control and that we have actual data on that we can use to make sure that we're managing those species correctly as it pertains to houndsmen, that sort of thing. So I assume there's probably going to be some discussion on that. I didn't see any. And usually the petitioner of that permit reaches out to me, and he didn't this time. So I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it or not, or if they're going to propose some regulation changes on that or not. We'll see at the meeting. Other than that, I didn't see anything except for the elk species management plan that I did want to kind of bring up. So if with all that, I would ask for a vote of support or for all A through I as written, or a vote of neutral, either one of those.
Chair Beamer, we don't vote on
We don't.
the
Yeah,
discussion.
because
item.
these are informational items, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Gosh darn it. I'm thinking of the consent agenda. So axe that, my bad. So then let's just discuss the application and the elk species management plan. I had a chance to talk to the biologist that kind of heads up the elk and moose here in the state of Nevada, management of those, Cody McKay, and we had a lengthy conversation because I didn't understand the chart that he provided in the materials. I don't know if you guys all saw this, but I wanted to be able to explain it. It was a little confusing, and he even admitted he could have maybe done something to clarify that a little bit. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that are going to ask about this. And so really what he provided here was all the different hunt unit groups that we have, or the unit groups that we actually have elk in, where we have established harvest ratios, and we have management plan in place. We went through. He listed the winter numbers. So they went through and did a survey. So the winter 2024-2025 column actually is the survey of what they did, what they got in that survey, and then they also have the 2025 population estimates that they got from that survey and from the spring survey that they did as well. And so what we're doing is we are changing the way that we determine the kind of the starting point, right? We're utilizing the starting point, the 2025 population estimates. We're replacing the estimates that we had from like years and years ago when they created this methodology of how to determine how many tags were allocated based on the management plan goals and the management of the elk in the state to reach its goal, population goals. And so what they're doing is using the 2025 population estimates, right, as kind of the new starting point. Does that make sense? So going forward, I really love what he's doing here. We're going to get some sportsmen probably that are not going to be too happy because there's going to be some units where we're going to likely see decreases in tag allocations, mainly are centered around the cows and harvesting cows, just so that we can get a couple years of data in place. So we may see some decreases in tags from what we saw last year. He said that the tag allocation is going to, what they're going to recommend is likely going to be very similar to what we saw in 2023,
Which really wasn't.
which
bad
wasn't that
numbers.
bad at
No,
all,
it wasn't bad
right? And
numbers.
I don't think anybody's going to be too awfully hurt about it, but
Are the elk concentrated in Nevada in the north?
say it again.
Where are the elk concentrated in Nevada in the north?
Yeah, so mainly in Humboldt County, Elko County, White Pine County, Lincoln County. So it'd be all of the northeastern, pretty much from like, do they go as far as Winnemucca, Travis? Do you know? Yeah, so there are some, but not a lot of hunts in there. But from there all the way north to Wendover, and then south of the eastern range, mainly in central to eastern and southern Nevada. They actually go all the way down into like Pioche, Panaca,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Caliente area, believe it or not.
Okay.
And it's perfect habitat for them. Our elk populations, if you aren't aware, are some of the most healthy elk populations
Wow.
in the entire United States,
Wow.
which is
I
pretty
wasn't aware
cool.
of that. I
yeah,
wasn't aware of that.
it's pretty awesome. And we're just trying to make it even or the department's trying to even make it even healthier, and they're redoing the goals of what we want to see, what the carrying capacity for each area of habitat can actually hold, right? Given the fact that we have now, we have to contend with
Right.
outrageous wild horse populations and burrow populations and all these species that aren't being managed, unfortunately, by anybody, which they should be, and taking that kind of stuff into consideration as well. So I was happy to see that they're coming up with something. We're probably going to get some disdain potentially in the future year when people see those tag allocations either decrease, but then we look at units like 221 and 223 and 111 and 115, which is mainly the Ely area and all the way down to Panaca. And those areas have huge elk concentrations. They saw a decrease this last year, but because that's going to be the starting point now, it's very likely going forward in the future years, we're going to see increased tags in those areas potentially,
Yeah, 'cause
which
those
is
are
where the
good
majority of elk are harvested, where the population tends to be the most healthy, that sort of
Where the
thing.
biggest ones live too.
I don't know. That's questionable, but
No, there's some big ones. down there.
regardless. So that's it in a nutshell. If you get a chance, go and look and read through. I almost said Travis. Cody's. Sorry, Travis. Go through and read Cody's report. I love some of the stuff that he put in there. I do want to just make mention in our conversations, since he handles both elk and moose. We found out that one of the moose tags that were issued this year was filled here this last week, and supposedly it was a dandy, beautiful animal, beautiful specimen, and it was the person from Fallon that actually harvested it, which is kind of
nice.
cool. So pretty neat. I'm glad to see that there was some success there.
A
So
youth didn't get a moose tag this year, did they?
say it again.
A youth?
No, nope. They're both adults, and one was from Vegas and one was from Fallon. So, anyway, just total side note there. So, any other questions on the elk, the actual elk species management plan that's being proposed? Anything, Kirk?
No.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to agenda item number 9, which is our consent agenda. No, take that back. Agenda item number 10. Did you make a mistake there? Okay. So we're just going to say agenda item number 10, Brianna. And these are the items that we do take action on everything on our consent agenda. If there's no discussion on the item, then the board does not have to take the item off of the consent agenda for discussion. There are a few items that I think are worthy of us discussing, but I would open it up to my fellow board members. If you have any items that you would like to take off of the agenda or off the consent agenda for discussion, then please make it known now, and we will make that happen. Any items?
I think 10I, only because we have a person from End out here
Yep.
doing the fishing
I
regs.
was gonna ask that as
I think that's the
well.
one.
Any other items that anybody wants to see taken off the agenda or out of the consent agenda and discussed? So I would like, yeah, go ahead.
10F. Motor restrictions and.
Okay. So let's do 10F and 10I. I would also like to have 10H. And that'll be a real quick one. I just want to give some feedback on that and help everybody understand that. And then also 10A as an apple. I'm not going to take 10B off because I got to say that Jake didn't really provide very much on that. And so it'll be interesting to hear what his presentation is. It's really kind of modifications that link master guides to sub guides and the accountability. I like that Jake has done this. Actually, let's just do this. Let's take 10A, 10B, 10F as in Frank, 10H and 10I off the agenda for discussion. All the other items, I would call for a motion of either support or maintaining neutral or disdain.
I'm okay with supporting everything, with the exception of the ones we already pulled. So I didn't see anything that was really glaring. I also want to hear Jake's presentation, just to see what he's thinking.
Yeah,
Because I think there does need to be a tie between the sub guide and the master guide.
Absolutely.
At some point, so.
yeah. So motion on the floor, second to approve 10A, 10C as in Charlie.
I thought we were pulling A. Didn't you want to pull A?
No, not 10C. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
C,
So
10D, 10E, 10G,
H. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'd like to pull 10H as well. So the motion would be for approval of 10C, 10D as in dog, 10E as in Edward, 10G as in George. So approving those in support of those.
Yeah.
Everybody clear on that? You clear with the second? Okay. Any further discussion on that? All in favor approving those items on the consent agenda as written? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No nays. Motion carries for those items. All right, let's jump right into 10A. This is a petition by Mr. Gregory Dicker and Miss Kimberly Dicker, Miss Tracy Lee Pinter, and James Thomas Pinter, where they are petitioning the department under the petition process to allow for a permanent disability designation instead of having to renew it every 5 years. And so I'm in favor of maintaining neutrality on this until we get to hear some of the positives and negatives of doing that. My concern is that people may exploit that a little bit. And so I think the department and the commission's going to have concerns on that as well. So it would be my desire to maintain neutrality on that, and that if when we attend the meeting, if it looks like there's other concerns like I have with regard to some potential exploitation of making a designation like that, then I would be in favor of not supporting this petition. So with that, open it up for discussion amongst the rest of the board first, and then we'll take it out to public comment. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I'm fine with that.
So I guess my only question to the whole thing is why do they want this changed, and what's the history behind it?
So if you read,
So you have to re-up every year. I don't see a problem with that.
so if you read their complaints, and I printed them. So this is what they said for the reason of the petition. The reason for the petition: changes recently made to NAC 503-1465 has created an additional burden and interfere with Title II, Subtitle A of the American Disabilities Act pertaining to state and local governments under recreation and the equal opportunities to benefit from recreation activities without prejudice. The new changes present a hardship in fees to have a doctor review the disability status of the disabled person every year. The previous versions of NAC 503-1465, which had no restrictions on length of permit issued time, is what they're bringing into question here. A new amendment under NAC 503-1465C4, an Archer disability permit issued pursuant to this section expires 5 years after the date on which the permit is issued. NAC 503 14654A, except in the case of missing limb, the permit issued would not expire for the life of the hunter. And I think that's where the problem's going to lie, right? I can wrap my head around the 5-year proposal. What I can't wrap my head around is doing it for life. You know what I mean? It's I think that needs to be visited. And so I don't know, maybe I'm off base in that. I mean, if somebody's missing a limb, by all means, it's very unlikely they're going to be able to, that disability is going to go away. It's always going to be there. Mm-hmm. So I understand their case that they're making there. If it's shown by the legal counsel of the department that this is indeed a violation of Title II, Subtitle A of the American Disabilities Act, then the department needs to do something about that, right? Like, I'm 100% in favor of making sure that we abide by those laws. That's up for interpretation, though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that we need to rely on our legal counsel on that. So I would imagine AG Burkett is going to want to chime in on this and give what his legal opinion would be on this, and we can kind of take that, based on what he says, we can kind of decide on whether or not we want to support or whether or not we want to continue to remain neutral or offer a vote of not support. And so
I don't think we have enough information at this point to
I know.
do anything but stay
I
neutral.
think this is strictly going to be a legal thing. I do, I think it's going to, if the doctor says this person is permanently disabled, I don't think we can argue it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's purely a legal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, ADA is pretty straightforward.
explicit, right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So with that, I would recommend that we take a position of being neutral on this at this point in time. Is there any parameters that anybody would want to, if it's brought to our attention, would you want to not support or support wholeheartedly? Anything that we should know with regard to, how this board feels about it?
I just think we ought to stay neutral until we
I
have
think
more
so, too.
information.
Yeah.
So then
And I'll make a motion to stay neutral on 10A.
I'll second it.
perfect. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will remain neutral on this position. Okay. Move this out of the way so I can get that out of there. All right, and then 10B is in boy. The only thing I just want to bring up here is really the reason why we're doing this is there has been issues in the past where sub-guides are out there operating on underneath the umbrella of the master guide, and they do things they're not supposed to do, harass other hunters, other people using landscape, saying that they can't go into an area because they have a client in there, they're trying to harvest an animal, that sort of thing, and that's 100% unlawful. And so in the past, if somebody was convicted of that, a sub-guide was convicted of that, something like that, or a violation, it didn't affect the master guide at all. And so some master guides, believe it or not, especially the out-of-state master guides, it has come to our attention that they don't care really, because it's not going to affect their guide license in any way. They just won't be able to use that sub-guide for a couple of years. They'll get somebody else, right? And so what this does, the proposed regulation change, it makes that master guide 100% responsible for the sub-guide. And if there's a violation with the sub-guide, then the violation goes down to the master guide, is the way I understand it. Again, I'm looking forward to hearing Jake's presentation. Jake Kremer, who is the captain over the guiding program, Doris, for the department. He will be giving a presentation on that. And so we will look forward to that. And so that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm in favor of, I'll just tell you I'm in favor of this as it's written and being presented by Jake. Just the language I saw seemed to hold the master guide accountable. So I would be in favor of that proposal. Again, we just don't have we haven't seen the presentation. So if you want to maintain neutrality on this, I could support that as well. But what I've seen so far, I support.
So I think it's common sense. You know, I mean, if you're having a house built, the contractor's responsible for all the people that work under him. I mean, it seems like it's common sense to me.
Yeah. Any
Can't have
thoughts?
people running amok underneath
No,
you.
I'm 100% behind the master guide being accountable for what their sub-guides are doing. But we haven't heard the presentation yet. We don't know what Captain Kramer's thinking. I mean, I know we've all kind of talked about some of this stuff prior, so I support it, and I would be okay putting a motion out to support this, even without hearing all of what Jake has to say.
Well, what would be the advantage of not supporting it? I mean, what would be,
I mean, only thing would be if the guide association or master guides come forward with items that would be at detriment to the department for doing this. I mean, I can't think of anything.
are there any kind of labor laws or anything involved, or
I don't
any
think
labor unions
so.
or
I don't
anything?
think so. Again, there's not a lot of information on it, but as it's written, I support the concept. I support the
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if you're willing to do a support of this at this time, I mean, we can always change our mind going forward, right?
I'm
'Cause
willing
there's
to,
gonna be
I'm
plenty of
willing to
time.
support it. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as I'm not getting in trouble with some laborers.
Yeah, I don't think that there will be, but again, we can report back on this,
Okay.
on what comes out of it, and then if the board wants to change their position, we certainly could do that. So motion on the floor to support.
I will
Support.
make a motion to support 10B as it's written.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries in support of 10B. All right, let's go on to 10.
F.
10F as in Frank. And what I'd like to do is take this out of order and allow Travis to talk on 10F and 10I together. Is that okay? So real quick, just on this, so 10F is a motor restriction and revision related to fisheries. The motor restriction component is fairly minimal, but the other part of this, it has to do with the mandatory catch and kill regulation that's being proposed for northern pike in different areas of the state. And so Travis, will invite you to come up and give us some maybe background on this, as well as the proposed changes to the fishing seasons and regulations, which I know are minimal this year, which is great. So welcome.
Yep.
So state your name for the record, please.
Yep. For the record, Travis Hawks, Western Region Fisheries Supervisor for Endow. Thanks for letting me go. And yeah, I'll just kind of run through quickly what we're proposing this year. So for the CGRs, which are the ones that I heard twice, we're updating scientific names just to be consistent. There's been some changes in scientific literature for bass, lahontan, cutthroat trout. So we're just trying to be consistent with published literature. We are proposing to require all pike caught in the state to be killed. Currently, they're listed as an injurious aquatic wildlife species. So you're not allowed to transplant them. There's no regulations on how many you can keep. You can catch and kill, do whatever you want with them, but there is no regulation in place that requires that those fish be killed. So currently someone could catch them and then release them back into the water they caught them from. We're just proposing to eliminate that. So if they're caught, they have to be killed because they are listed as injurious aquatic wildlife.
And is there penalties for somebody that catches one, and if a game warden saw him putting it back in the water?
There would be, yes. If this
Okay.
regulation was to go through, there would be, correct.
And my understanding is that all the pike in the state of Nevada have been put here illegally, correct?
Correct, yep. There's no native pike, and any existing pike, like I stated, are listed as injurious wildlife, which means that they're considered harmful, and therefore we want them gone, so.
So there's really no waters that should have
Correct.
pike in them.
Correct, yep.
Do you have a population estimate by chance?
So the Eastern Region folks have been working on Cummins for decades now, and that population after the most recent treatment is starting to kind of bubble back up, and so we're trying to basically throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at them to get them out of there. And this is just one more step that helps us because some anglers, we do have reports, are catching and releasing those fish. So.
All right.
And then we are updating the bait regulations, mainly just to be consistent across regions. So like the big one on there is Eastern Region. They're proposing to allow for commercially caught and prepared non-native bait or bait from other places. So it's stuff you could buy at really Walmart or anywhere. It's the pre-prepared, salted, brined fish that they're already dead. Currently, the regulation doesn't allow for that in the Eastern Region, but it does in all other regions. So they're proposing to change the language to include that over there. And then the last CGR would be that they're updating the regulation on the size of ice holes for Cummins Reservoir. So again, this is pike related. And there's been a kind of a push of folks wanting to spearfish for them through the ice. Currently, the state regulation is, I believe, and I might be misspeaking, but I believe it's an 8-inch diameter ice hole for fishing that doesn't really allow for folks to actively spearfish. They can't really see what's going on, can't get that through there. So this is to allow for that. And there's some language that'll be in there that, you know, the ice holes have to be refilled. They have to be marked with wooden lay, that type of stuff to avoid from anyone, you know, cruising along on a snowmobile and nose planting into it or anything like that.
And how big do the ice holes have to be?
Currently it's, again, I believe it's 8 or 10 inches.
What are we
The
proposing?
regulation, I think, is going to go to about a 3 foot, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I
Okay.
believe it's a 3 foot, like a 3 foot by 2 foot hole. So it would
And they have to be flagged appropriately,
correct.
right?
Yeah, marked with, and the language is very specific. It's a wooden lathe has to be used to mark that. So, and then so that's all the CGR changes, changes to NAC, and then one commission regulation, season and bag, which is to remove the size restriction and limit on striped bass over 20 inches at Lake Mead and Mojave. Historically, the limit there has been a 20 fish limit for striped bass over 20 inches, and fish under 20 inches was unlimited. You could catch and keep as many as you want. The intent of that was to kind of weed out some of the smaller fish. They make up most of the biomass, try to get bigger striper out there. But as long as that regulation has been in place, we haven't seen any appreciable difference in the size. And really, decades of angler reports, we don't have very many people, if any, ever catching more than 20 fish over 20 inches in a single day. So it's just trying to simplify the regulations, get rid of stuff that makes it complicated for anglers. And yeah, beyond that, I can answer any other questions you might have.
Any questions for Travis? Pretty simple. Everything else remains the same. So all the waters that are in Carson City here that we utilize all remain the same. I always look at Hobart, even though it's technically in Washoe County, we here in Carson, it's kind of our baby, and Marlette too, and so we kind of are pretty concerned about that water and how it's being managed and stuff, but it's just an amazing fishery. And then Bailey Pond, of course, nothing changed there. They still plant the heck out of it, and a lot of people get a lot of use out of that. And then the Carson River watershed too. It's amazing how many smallmouth and largemouth bass are being caught here locally, just right here in Carson City, and that's kind of fun. When we were kids, it was pretty rare to get one of those, and so now you can go out and pretty much catch limits, and a lot of people are having a lot of fun with that. So, any other questions or concerns at all? I'll bring it back to the board. Thank you, Travis, and appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful night. You don't have to stay for the rest of our meeting if you don't want to. I'm certain you probably will. Okay. Well, we appreciate it. Bring it back to the board. Any discussion on this regulation?
No, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Perfect. So I would entertain a motion to support.
I will make a motion to support 10F and 10I as written.
I will second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye?
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Going back, and let's take a look at 10H. So the only thing I wanted to bring up here is we had talked about this regulation before. This is being proposed for junior tag holders that age out of the junior hunting class, if you will, right? So anybody who's a junior that collects bonus points, meaning, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, Doris. When someone applies for a big game tag in the state of Nevada, if they do not draw, they have the ability to, if they've met all the requirements, right, to receive what we call a bonus point. And in the next year when they apply, they get a random drawing for their application and for every bonus point that they
Okay.
have as well. So
Okay.
that allows more opportunity for someone who has been putting in for a tag for a species, big game species like me, for example, who's been applying for bighorn sheep and Rocky Mountain goat since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And haven't drawn none of them. I have the max amount of bonus points you could possibly have
Okay.
for all those species of animals. And one day, hopefully, before I'm old and decrepit and too fat to go on one of those hunts, hopefully I draw one, as it's quite an experience, and it's just something that you'll never ever forget, and it's a great way to help us manage these beautiful animals that we have here in the state. And so, what this does, it allows for any junior that's aging out of that age time frame or that age gap, if you will, to be able to apply for junior tags to allow them to roll over their bonus points to what I guess we would call a regular hunt class, right? So if somebody had, 3 bonus points for mule deer, they would take those and they would put them towards a antlered mule deer tag when they go apply for the general draws. And so I like it. It doesn't penalize the youth, which in the past that has happened. They'd lose them, and then they'd have to start all over. And so I really like that. So just wanted to make sure everyone was clear on that. I'm 100% in favor of this for our youth, our junior hunters that are aging out. I think they should have that opportunity. We want them to experience what Nevada has to offer and experience the beauty of being able to go out and harvest our resources to help with management of our resources. And so, with that, I would turn it over to my fellow board members. I would be in favor of this, and I would ask you all to consider that as well.
That seems fair to me.
I don't understand why it's taking this long.
I know.
This should have been at the
Been
very
like this all
beginning of the
along.
junior hunt.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
with
what
ya.
should have happened.
I'm with you,
So
100%.
I will make a motion to support 10H as written.
And I will second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously for 10H. And I believe that closes out our consent agenda. And so we will go on to agenda item number, agenda item number 12, not 11. Do I got that right, Brianna?
That's what
Did
I
I skip
have.
11? Yeah, skip 11. Okay, there's no 11. All right. So agenda item number 12 is items pulled from the consent agenda. Oh, wait.
That's what we just did.
13, actually.
Am I wrong here?
Yeah, we need to go to
Say it again.
13.
I think 12 is what we just did.
Yeah, we did. Okay, perfect. So then agenda item number 13 is where we discuss who will attend or participate in the Nevada Board of Wildlife Commission meeting. We have one this weekend, Friday and Saturday, September 26th and 27th. I'm able to attend virtually on those dates, while on the 26th. The 27th is going to be difficult for me because I am leaving on a flight to go to San Diego to speak at a conference for my position at the state. And so if somebody is able to attend the 27th day virtually, or if you want to go in person, you certainly can make travel arrangements and make that happen. You would be flying down or driving down to Las Vegas. You guys are more than welcome to knock yourself out there.
I'm not available this weekend, sorry.
Okay.
I might be able to watch some of it on the 27th. I got a couple other things going on that same day, so.
Okay, so I'll plan on the 26th. I'll see what I can get in on the 27th. I might be in flight or landing, so we'll see. And then Kirk, if you could try to attend the 27th, that would be great. At least hear what they, at least participate and be able to show that we participated from
Yeah.
and represented Carson City County Advisory Board. I'll take the 26th though, for sure. And then we have November 7th and 8th, which will be right here in Reno. And, you know, not just one person can
Are
attend.
these like all day? What all?
It is kind of
exactly
an
are
all-day
these?
thing for most part. So the one in Reno usually, yeah, so it would start in the morning. It would be at the Washoe County Commissioners Chambers over off of 9th Street, likely. And then usually they do 2 days, so Friday and Saturday. Sometimes they have a field trip that they throw in there, although I haven't really seen it too much in Reno, a few times, but and they haven't posted that agenda, of course. But yeah, it would be a Friday and Saturday, most of the day on those days. Now you don't have to stay for the whole thing, but you know, I think it's great that, especially if you're new on the board, I encourage all the committee members, board members, to go and attend at least one commission meeting a year, right? And they do want our feedback, and you can see how the meetings run and what they're really trying to accomplish with these commission meetings.
Do we have to give any kind of report?
Say it again?
Do we have to give any kind of report?
You don't necessarily. There's sometimes when so every meeting day, the chair will ask people that are attending, that are representing the county advisory boards, to stand up and identify themselves. And you would say, you know, like I get up and say, I'm Rob Beamer, chairman of the Carson City Advisory Board. Or if I'm not chairman, I'm Rob Beamer, board member from the Carson City Advisory Board. And then if you wanted to give any testimony on or a position on any of the items that we discussed in our board meeting prior, then we'd wait till that agenda item comes up and give position and what we talked about, and how really it's to give feedback of, hey, if we had members of the public come in and give voice any concern. Sometimes we get emails and we'll share that with the commission so that they are hearing from all the different counties across the state on a particular item, whether they be in favor, maintain neutrality, or be against.
Will we meet again before that November meeting?
Yeah.
We will meet here
Yep,
one more time.
Yep. We always have our meeting the week in either the week or week before, prior to the commission meeting. So we
Okay, well,
always have our meeting prior.
I'll try to do the November one then.
Okay,
I'd
perfect.
like to get
So-
one more meeting here in before I
Yep,
go
we'll
there.
be meeting, and I'll probably, I may attend that one as well, so
Okay.
we can sit together and I can kind of help you understand,
Okay,
you know, maybe
that would be
if
great.
you have questions or something
Yeah,
like that.
that
So
would be great.
I'll do my best to try and make that happen, okay? All right.
Try to make that.
Yeah, I think there'd be,
November 7th on
Yeah,
the Friday.
the ones that are close here, we should really try to attend if we can, so, okay? All right, close out agenda item number 13 and go to agenda item number 14. Are there any future agenda items that we would like to consider for future agendas or meetings going forward for the County Advisory Board of Carson City?
I don't have any at
Okay.
this point.
Seeing none, then we will open up the meeting for our second public comment period. So the public is invited at this time to provide any comment on any topic that's related to a matter over which we at the County Advisory Board of Carson City to manage wildlife have supervision, control, jurisdiction, or advisory power over. Just understand no action can be taken on a matter raised during public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none here in Carson City. Any online or on the phone? Seeing none, we will close public comment, and agenda item number 16, I would call for a motion to adjourn at 6:31.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The meeting is cleared.